threshold that separates existence from the unknown. He rose beyond time, bringing memories and feelings from the cocoon of oblivion. He struggled in the shadows to navigate a life without guidance, discipline, or structure. He was tempted by naivety, ignorance, and emotional toxicity on his road, lighted by despair, anger, and pessimism. His parents divorced when he was a baby. This original split created a turbulent family scene without love, kindness, compassion, respect, or efficient communication. He became mired in a loop of demeaning. By 23, he had worked over 50 jobs, often fired for his combative manner, and numerous conflicts with supervisors. He thought about his weekend plans one fateful day, lost in mindless habits. Drugs, drink, and wild parties were his normal activities. He had no idea that these indulgence partners shared his decline into mediocrity. A series of phone conversations set the stage for a night of mushrooms, cocaine, and alcohol. He abruptly left this lifestyle after realizing it was empty. He drove, but chaos in his city overtook him. He hit 2 cars while speeding through a residential area at nearly 100 kilometers per hour. He fainted in the pandemonium. When he woke up, his foot was on the gas pedal. He was ejected from the car after hitting a home and lay unconscious, painless. Still, his crushed body and leg were stuck between the automobile and the home. Strange event occurred during the post-accident investigation. His body was found on the passenger side, confusing police, detectives, and residents. The story would reveal this riddle. He could switch bodies at will. He could leave his body and stay on the passenger side, even if his soul was tied to it. While lucid, he saw the ambulance speeding toward him and heard their urgent words, "We're losing too much blood. We're losing him." He observed his tiny body from the ambulance as it raced down the highway. Medical staff were surprised by his grave condition upon arrival at the hospital. They were shocked by his damaged leg, swelling, blood loss, and glass fragments in his face, neck, and body. He heard distant family phone calls and conversations after a short time, mysteriously able to listen. Family members gathered, gasping and praying as they offered well wishes and farewells while he was on life support. During surgery, his spirit aligned with his body, providing odd support. His spirit saved him when the breathing tube choked him. His spirit returned to his body and removed the neck brace, allowing his breath to flow freely. His family and medical professionals were confused by this strange occurrence, wondering if he was responding. The option of whether to maintain life support or disconnect it seemed to weigh heavily on his shoulders, a sacrifice shrouded in partial comprehension. As they neared disconnection, his consciousness and spirit left the hospital room on a mysterious adventure. His spirit vanished, leaving him unattached, uncertain, and separated from his body. He realized he was a reflection, a non-player character in his own story, as he subsequently described it. It was difficult to articulate, but he saw himself as a vessel of serenity transcending his body, thoughts, and emotions. His adventure continued, dragging him into a mysterious vortex, tunnel, or conduit. He sped through a landscape of lights, frequencies, sound waves, and thinking patterns, spiraling further into the unknown. He wished for light in the darkness, feeling slightly anxious. He trusted the process and gave up his ego and control. He suddenly saw a warm, brilliant glow around him. Curiosity made him stop and think about his location. Before entering the brilliant expanse, he felt love, empathy, sympathy, respect, honor, gratitude, and an overpowering sense of familiarity. Though the people were elusive, he was surrounded by angels and a torrent of welcoming sentiments, culminating in a life review. This introspective trip revealed a chapter of negativity, wrath, and toxicity in his interactions and acts. It was a reflecting process of past actions and regrets, but the past was unchangeable. He returned to the corporeal world with doubt and a sense of his challenges. He contemplated a range of feelings, including regret, humiliation, guilt, and judgment. In this place beyond, there were no judgments, trials, or condemnations. A welcome hug confirmed his journey was accepted. The crucial question was, what do you desire? He could stay there, forgiven and at peace, or return to his old life. His choice between two realms was difficult. He returned, starting a fast, weird voyage. People's prayers and thoughts grounded it in reality, but it felt like a dream. His mother cut the link to the unknown upon his return, revealing physical suffering. His leg and hand were immovable, and pain permeated him. His mother and sister looked at him expectantly, likely in appreciation. He struggled with victimhood, blame, neglect, abandonment, and trust. His desire to share his experiences was unfulfilled, forcing him to relearn everything from walking to talking. He kept speaking, but a brain lesion caused a lisp and a wavering voice. As medications flooded his system, he panicked, unaware of the brain bleeding. After slowly regaining consciousness, his senses improved, allowing him to hear whispers from kilometers away. Things seemed weird. He studied energy manipulation amid the complexity. Even simple tasks like managing his blood pressure were now possible, which alarmed the medical professionals. Healing progressed quickly. 6 days later, he left the hospital. Within 3 days, his lungs recovered, and his damaged bones healed within 6 months. Within a year, he was drug-free. Following that, another life-or-death trial revealed brain hemorrhage, requiring surgery. Acceptance replaced his initial hesitancy and displeasure after a traumatic experience. He lost his ego and detached from the circumstance. Achieving brain surgery while awake and in excruciating pain was unprecedented. In the 3rd hour of this weird ordeal, he learned to temporarily separate from his body and observe the hospital. As the nurse eventually relieved pain, this new skill brought comfort. He transformed his life through self-healing. Patterns changed, and he understood his cycles. The clearance of a criminal record, payment of fines, and improvement in emotional well-being led to remarkable personal progress. The practice of loving, forgiving, and releasing resentment changed his life. This story should inspire and enlighten. You can connect with him on any platform as Guided Intelligence or Malcolm Nair.